can you tell us a little bit about the computer science course and what sort of things somebody who would come and do the course at college be studying, learning about over the 2 years of the course?
Yeah, absolutely. So computer science is not IT. Okay, you're not going to be studying Microsoft Word and Excel. Okay, if you study computer science, you're actually learning about how computers work. So that's from the components inside them. So like the CPUs, the GPUs, the RAM, how they all talk to each other, how different processes work, and how devices work with them. But we also look on a more large scale as well. So how computers are used worldwide, how they're used in businesses, how they're used to advance our understanding in technology, such as machine learning and neural networks. And we also look at the legislation as well. So obviously, with the advancement of computers, we need to update all the old policies we have, such as GDPR, being updated with the old Data Protection Act, and the ethical and legal issues with things like Tesla's self-driving cars. You know, as technology progresses, we're now coming into hurdles we never thought we would come into. Um, and we also, what we're currently doing at the minute is a coursework project. So all my students here are currently working on their individual project that they have chosen. Okay.
Rubik's Cube solver is Tom Pritchard.
It is, yeah.
Absolutely right.
Okay. What was the next one? The
A
nuclear.
nuclear power plant simulation.
Okay, let me have a think about that. That might
That's
be.
not hard.
Is it
Callum.
Callum, maybe?
That is Callum.
Okay, right. Next one. I'm too.
We have an an AI chatbot, so a bit of
Mikey?
machine learning. That is not Mikey.
AI chatbot. Katie.
That's not Katie.
Okay.
Suddenly we've gone bad at the game.
Okay. Who's that then? Who's doing the chatbot?
That would be James.
Nice. Okay.
Mm.
We have someone which is essentially rebuilding a CPU and GPU to basically, in simple terms, it's a Game Boy emulator. But they're
Okay.
building the architecture from scratch.
Wow. That sounds quite complicated, actually.
It's very complicated.
Maybe is that you, Jamie?
Elliot, I think.
That is Elliot.
Elliot's
Yeah,
got
well
a bit
done.
of a smirk on his face, hasn't he?
Nathan, I think one of the maybe the myths about computing is that you, as you've already touched on, it's a bit like IT, but I think students need to be pretty confident with math skills, don't they? Would you say that's quite a a lot of the students here are obviously, got really good GCSE maths. Is that really an important part of it for you?
Absolutely. So whilst paper one, I've mentioned, consists of the workings of the computer and how computers work in the real world and whatnot. Paper two concentrates on all the algorithms and being able to trace programs. And obviously computers work in ones and zeros and numbers. So it's having the ability to follow numbers through the program and basically list them as they change. So maths is a very large part of paper two. And we also have a bit of a crossover with further maths, I believe, with the sorting algorithms. So we look at the bubble sort, the quick sort, big O notation, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So what other skills other than maths then would you want in a student who is coming to do computer science? What would you be looking for?
Well, as you said, maths I think is very important, especially for paper two. But we also have some 12-mark questions in the paper as well. So I think the ability to be able to plan and write a 12-mark answer. So you need to be quite good at communicating to the examiner. So you can't just write bullet points. You need to be able to plan and express yourself confidently to the examiner.
Yeah, I think that's why it's quite tough for some of your students, Nathan, because some of the more maths and physics end of the kind of candidates, it might be the only exam where they're writing extended pieces, more essay-based skills. So you've got to be that strong at both of those aspects, isn't it? And the project obviously is extended as well. I'd love to hear a little bit from you guys about why you want to do the course and what you like about it.
Yeah,
That would be great.
first of all, I've got a few questions for some of you. I want to ask Elliot a question, if that's all right, Elliot? Because I remember when you enrolled, computer science was one of the main reasons you came here. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Okay, so why did you want to come and do computer science then?
The main reason I took it would be because it's an essential essential qualification for me for the job I want to do. But it does
What's that job then, Elliot?
Cybersecurity. I want to go into cybersecurity. No, it's more than just a qualification, I think, because there's a lot of dynamic skills that you can get from doing the course. So I mean, the one I always think of is critical thinking, because obviously if you can't think outside the box to solve a problem, you're not going to get anywhere with this.
Yeah, and I suppose in some ways it's not just solving a problem; it's solving it efficiently as well, isn't it? It's not just solving the problem; it's finding the best way to solve a problem, which is a different skill as well. Tom, you were telling me yesterday, what are you going to do at university? Because that's a computing-based course, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to do computer science mixed with maths.
Okay, and what sort of thing? What have you got a plan for a career after that? Do you know where it's going to take you?
I'm looking to go into cybersecurity. Like I've looked, like for example, Capgemini. That's in Telford, and I've obviously because of COVID, I couldn't like try and get an apprenticeship there. But yeah, I want to look to sort of that route, or maybe go into Cisco, or try and do a comp TIA plus Linux.
And I've got maybe can I ask you a question, Katie? Is that right? There's a lot of young men in this class, right? What would you say to any girls doing the GCSEs at the moment? You know, how is it being in a class with all these guys? And then would you encourage young young women, I should say, to do this course? Is that something that you feel strongly about, or what's your thoughts on it, really?
Yeah, I completely encourage young girls to take the course because we need more female engineers, really, you know, because computer science, normally people tend to think it's kind of a boyish subject. That's what I heard from my family anyways. So my mom actually encouraged me to do it, and I don't regret it at all.
Excellent. Who else should we talk to, Holly? Anybody else do you want to ask a question?
James, we haven't had a chance to hear from James, have we? Because you're not doing maths and physicsy stuff, James, are you? You're doing psychology and that sort of thing. So can you tell us why you picked computing and how you feel about it?
For me, the reason I chose computing was just that it's more of a hobby for me. It was just something that I had an interest in and I enjoyed doing at GCSE. I've made a lot of like really good friends during the course.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think that's really important, isn't it? You feel like a little group, a bit of a weird family. That's a really important part of coming to college, isn't it? Finding other people that are like-minded.
Jamie, how do you find the college?
The college as a whole is like unreal for the fact that the support I've had personally is like mad, because in this class, first year I found it like generally quite a difficult subject to grasp because of how it's not an easy subject to do it at all, but like if you want to do it, you want to do it. So with the help from Nathan as well, is like just really good in the fact that you ask him a question, he knows the answer like that, and you get back on with the work, and it's just like you think, oh, is it that easy? And he's like, well, yeah, but.
How have you found working in lockdown then with the remote lessons and that? Has that been okay?
It's not been easy by any stretch of the imagination, because it's hard to get motivation, but when But like again, when you got like a teacher like Nathan, who's just sat there like, oh come on, just do it. It's like you look at it as it's your A level at the end of the day. If you want to get the best grade you want, you've got to put the effort in. You've got to get the motivation to do it, and it's a lot easier when you've got a decent group of people as well around you to sort of keep you going as well.